G'day, welcome to the Line Lawn. There's green grass, no fumes, and no worries. G'day, welcome back to another video. Today I've got a fair bit to do, so I'm going to get stuck straight into it. I've got to do a mow around the entire property, do the edges, tidy those up, and get the grass ready for its first application of granular fertiliser. I want to put that down now so that it has time to really kick in and start working by the time we do the reno in a few weeks. And because I'm putting the fertiliser down, I then need to get the irrigation sorted so I can water that all in. So I'm going to hopefully finish that little project of the side yard and the front yard where the irrigation was sort of been a bit of a pain in the bum. I think I've got the solutions now, so I'll put that together and get that done. And then lastly, I want to have a crack at taking some core samples out of the yards in various spots just to see what the roots are doing and see what the grass health is like before we start. So let's get stuck in. Righto, mowing and edging's now done. Before I start throwing the fertiliser down, I'll just give you a quick update on what the clover looks like 2.5 weeks after the Casper application. So this is what it looks like now compared to what it looked like when I started. So you can see it's sort of very much dead now, which is good. It worked really well. I'm really pleased with that, so I'll probably use it again if I need to. And throughout the course of the renovation of the grass, if I find any bits popping up or sprouting here and there, I might do some spot applications of it just to keep it in check. But overall, very impressed, good result. So what I'm going to do now is throw down granular fertiliser to get the grass going. I use Power Feed, which is by Seasol, an Aussie company made in Tasmania. I'm going to use some of that in my hand spreader. Now there is a battery operated one, but this one works pretty well. So I use it on the third setting on the handle, which opens the little mouth about that much, and that seems to go really well. One bag of the fertiliser does 250 square metres of lawn, so I've got 350 here, so I use a bag and a half, and it's pretty good. So let's get that underway. I'm ducking down here trying to get out of the wind because the wind has just gone nuts today. Anyway, behind me you might be able to see I've put that other big sprinkler in the front yard, so hopefully that'll make me 100% covered in the front. But I've also got these irrigation sprinklers for the garden that I'm going to now try and put into the same hose that the lawn sprinkler's on. I don't know whether that's going to be too much pressure or not enough pressure, or I don't really know how that works, having two different types of sprinklers that obviously use different types of pressure on the one line. So I'll put it in and see how it goes. I've got plenty of poly pipe. If it's no good, I'll swap it over. Sprinklers in the front garden now, sprinkling. I've just put the other ones in the front in the grass, so I'll go and turn them on and hopefully we get full coverage and we're good to go. Cool. Alright, front sprinklers are all done. I've now put my soaker hose contraption together down the side. I wish this wind would rack off. Hope you can't hear it too badly. Anyway, the soaker hose is down the side. I'm going to give it a test now, but I'm not going to turn it on conventionally with a tap. I'm going to use the Link Tap app. Turn on the front yard for the 15 minutes. Activate garden sprinklers on for 15 minutes. Activate. See what happens. Holy dooly, it's working. Yes. Hope you can see that rainbow. Alright, it's blowing an absolute gale out there now, which is a bit of a disappointment because I had grand plans for today. But now the water that I'm sprinkling everywhere is getting blown across the road, and the fertiliser that's on the lawn that I haven't yet put the sprinklers on is getting blown around like a dust storm. Doesn't matter. It's not too bad in here because I've got fences all around and it's sort of keeping it on the grass. Hopefully the wind dies down soon enough in a second for me to water the backyard. But the other thing I'm waiting on is old mate next door's got his clothes on the line again. And even though I've fixed the sprinklers so they don't shoot over the fence, with this wind blowing around, I don't want to be that guy whose sprinklers just blow water straight across the fence into his nice dry undies or whatever. So in the meantime, some of you may have seen on my Instagram page through the week, if you haven't seen my Instagram, I'll put it on the screen, that I took a core sample out of the backyard to check what the roots of the grass were doing. And to my surprise, there wasn't really a whole lot of roots under the top sort of 5-10 mil. It was nice, the soil was nice and it was damp and looked pretty healthy, but there were just no roots in there. So what I think's happened is that's grass that was on top of an old garden bed that I think I said in the first video. I've recently took that garden bed out and let the grass grow over it, so it's not anywhere near as established as the rest of the yard. So I'm going to take some more samples from a few different spots in the yard just to see what's going on, because if it's all like that, scalping it right down to the dirt might not be the best idea. But if there are some roots across the lawn, deep down, I mean it's Kikuyu, I'm pretty sure there's roots a couple of meters down at this point, so there should be anyway, so we'll see how we go. What you might have seen is my coring tool. This was a fluke. My young one, my daughter, she has a swing set out the back that has 5 different swings on it. She's only using 3 now, the other ones are too little, so I took them off, and it was a real struggle to move the swing set because it was so long. So I took this middle section out of the top bar, and it just so happened to be a really good diameter and really good size to jam in the ground to take some samples of my grass. So fluked that one a little bit. So I'll go and get some more samples and I'll bring them back in here out of the wind and put them on the bench here, and we'll see what's going on. So my U-Butte homemade coring machine went alright, getting the core out of the grass, but then getting the core out of the machine was a little bit difficult. But we'll work on that. We'll improve on that in the next couple of weeks. But it did get a core, as you can see here. Bits of it broke out, but what it did pull out, you can see does actually have roots all the way through it. So I'm not too worried about it too much. I think it might have been the case that the core I took out the other day that I put the photo on Instagram of was actually in the garden bed, like I said. So I think it's probably a case of that kikuyu's grown over from the grass rather than come up from seeds. Whether that makes a difference, I'm not sure, but certainly that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I'll do a little bit of research and see what I can find out. The wind is still kicking on out there, which is a pain in the bum, but old mate looks like he's out there taking his clothes off the washing line now, so I'll put the sprinklers on anyway. Hopefully it doesn't go too far, but I need to get the water onto that fertiliser and water it in properly so that it can work. So once I've done that, that'll probably do me for the day. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time on the Lion Lawn.